You have any idea what those mean?
I would never venture a guess. I'm glad to be your guest, nor would I venture a guess on those words, as I can't even, I muffled the first thing I'm trying to say here today.
It's Friday, JD.
That's true.
That's right. Let's talk about the issue with the Hillary Clinton emails. We know she said that earlier this week she was imploring the State Department to please go ahead and release her emails. We now know some of them are out there, and we asked the same question to Rick Unger earlier. Since so much has been talked about with Benghazi, do you think there is anything new that we will learn from the release of these new emails?
I think we will learn a couple of things. I think number one, based on reports we've seen and a kind of priming the pump by the New York Times, we will see how Hillary got the real story allegedly from her longtime operative Sidney Blumenthal, but then how she went along with the leftist line. It has long been my contention that President Obama and those of his ideological ilk sought to use the tools of community organizers, not on our streets, but on the Arab street. In other words, to set up a self-fulfilling prophecy about this fiction of a YouTube video leading to a spontaneous riot or demonstration in Benghazi. That is just so much flapdoodle. And what Hillary is, I'm trying to be very polite.
That's a new word. I was just sitting there thinking.
Can be on Scrabble, but I believe what will happen now with Hillary, she'll try to kick the dust up. Believe me, the Clintons are so inherently political, and they have a team of apologists within the media that now I think Hillary will try to put this behind her when she'll say, yes, we knew this, but I thought the president had better information. And yet, when I came to this conclusion, I was unafraid to see these come out. She will try to spin. She will try to spin this like this may be politically incorrect too. She will spin it like a whirling dervish. Whoa, probably politically incorrect. However, that is what she will do, and she will have many in the press who will try to cover for her. But of course, the interesting dynamic is, as our friend Michael Patrick Flanagan has pointed out, the current scrutiny of Hillary is not coming from Republicans and the right. It's coming from the left and a whole lot of Democrats who say, you know what, we better find a different nominee. So this is going to be yet another episode of when Democrats attack each other, and we're going to see over the long term just how deep the loyalty or the make good factor will work with the dominant media culture saying, you know, we beat up on Hillary so we could get Obama elected as president in 2008. It's now, quote, her turn. That will be the subplot at work here.
Now, we know there's going to be some testimony coming up in the Special Select Benghazi Committee. The Washington Post talking about Sidney Blumenthal. He's been subpoenaed to address that panel. They are talking about the questions that should be asked of him. And one of those is whether or not he had business interests in Libya and whether he would have benefited from his access to Hillary Clinton. What do you think?
Well, again, I think what you will probably see, especially from Sidney Blumenthal, nicknamed Sid Vicious, for his years of rabid defense of the Clintons, you're going to see him come in and do a kind of pseudo-masculine variation of, what difference does it make? How dare you question me? And he didn't earn, despite the bespectacled countenance here, this is a guy who is a real street fighter and a real manipulator, so one can see him try to set up his own amen corner to come in to be as contentious as possible with the committee. Again, hope he has an amen chorus in the Washington press corps to get him off and to turn the page for Hillary. In any circumstance, with a document dump that I believe will come this afternoon, expect the Clintons, as soon as the Sunday talk shows, to say, this is old news. This is old news. And Hillary did what she had to do. She pointed out the inconsistencies, but once the administration decided on a line, do you want her to be disloyal to the president? And they will try to spin a virtuous profile of Mrs. Clinton in what is perhaps the most odious of circumstances in which she found herself. And there is a long line of smelly, questionable, downright improper actions that have been taken over the years, but she's gotten away with it before, and that's what they'll try to do again.
All right.
So what do you got going on tonight?
Well,
Or
more
Newsmax Prime.
More on this. We're keeping an eye on
I'm
the
sure
emails.
you are.
We're also, it's very interesting. Last night, Jim Woolsey, former director of Central Intelligence, gave what I believe to be the most cogent defense for keeping the Patriot Act. We'll be talking about that with my old colleague, Mike, I can't be pulling a Rick Perry here. Pete Hoekstra.
You have a lot
It
going
is
on.
Friday.
You're a very
It's got
busy
Pete
man.
And
Thank goodness, right?
years ago, Steve Martin asked the question or made the assertion, comedy isn't pretty. Tonight, can comedy be conservative? Conservative comic Evan Sayet certainly believes so, and he will be with us tonight on Newsmax Prime, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific.
All right, the Woolsey interview is up right now on Newsmax.com. Please do check it out.